Bow staff lesson for beginners. I'll be using this aluminum staff. It's competition staff from combative.com. Okay, if you want to get one of your own, you can use anything you have, any martial arts long staff, broomstick, hockey stick, doesn't matter. Just grab a staff and start to spin. You're gonna go side to side. As a beginner, you want to increase flexibility, strength in your hands, flexibility in all of the joints. But you want to get that blood moving, warm up the joints, keep everything lubricated so you can stay safe from injury during the workout. So you're just going back and forth, one hand for about 30 seconds. You're going to put it in the other one. Hello, it's good to see you. Going back and forth, about 30 seconds here. You're gonna get stronger wrists, you're gonna get a harder grip, a better grip, so when you fight with this thing or you defend yourself maybe without a staff, you have stronger wrists, faster strikes. After you've done this for a while, go from one hand into the other hand, back and forth. Allow the weight of the staff to pull your wrist over more than it normally would go. That'll increase flexibility, strength, speed, balance, coordination. All that gets better right here. We're going to focus on two things in this workout today. One is going to be spinning and moving. Spinning and moving in a real basic way so you can get really comfortable with your freestyle or fighting. And two, we're going to work on self-defense. Using this as a street fight self-defense weapon, walking down the street, creating some distance, and then striking, all the basic strikes. We're going back and forth first, and then over the top in this butterfly spin. One hand, this is my left hand, turns all the way up. The right hand palm facing away, so that puts the pinky and the thumb together. This hand turns, the other hand slides under, palm up, slides right in there, turns down, over, and over again. It's the camera, Vic. It's the camera. I'm about the same as I normally am. I haven't cleaned up my diet or anything. It's the black shirt and the short hair. But I appreciate you saying that. You're spinning it over. Bring that to a stop. And then back the other way. It really is the camera. I gotta tell you, it's probably the camera. Actually, when I was young, when I was in the Marine Corps, I got into lifting heavy weights for some reason. I had a bench press at like 425, all natural too. I'm made that way though. I'm a big dude. I look at weights and I get big. But I don't like to, I like to do kettlebells. And I like to do battle ropes. And I like to do medicine balls. And I like to do that kind of stuff. I don't like to go in the gym. I do sometimes, but I don't like to spend a lot of time in the gym on the machines. I like functional fitness. I like to put a band attached to something, pull it in like this, and then throw it, right? So that I have that triphasic movement. But I also I imagine in my head, right? I'm defending myself, I'm protecting my family. And I gotta grab my daughter in, and I pull my son in, but then this guy comes over here, he's running, and I snatch him up, pull him in, and throw him across the room. I picture that stuff in my head when I'm working out. I know, right? But that's what it is to be a martial artist. Started when I was 9, never stopped. I'm always looking for ways to get better at defending myself, my family, people I care about, learning how to stand up for yourself. That's a big part of it. I've been saying this recently. If you don't put it in your left hand, you're gonna go into your forward figure 8 motion. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. You've heard that, right? I didn't make that up. But most people think of that as like some political stance, or my favorite weapon for self-defense is the cane. But I'll carry anything. I like collie sticks for self-defense. I like this for self-defense. I'll take a look at it. I haven't seen it yet today. We've been running errands. They just announced a face mask mandatory thing here in Palm Beach County, so I gotta go buy some for my kids and myself. And it's eating me up inside. I don't wanna wear a mask. All right, so you're going back and forth, and then when it's here, you're gonna take it in the other one, and then back and forth. Good, use that. Use whatever you have. There's no wrong way to do it. Just from side to side, stomach up and in, abs tight, spinning. Maybe Vic, maybe that's it. Maybe it's all the spinning has made me stronger. Spinning with a heavy pull like this, it's a little bit smaller in diameter and it hits really hard. Maybe this spinning with this pull has built some more strength in my arms and shoulders. It will for you if you do a little bit every day. All right, so the right hand, and then I want you to go in one hand and then back into the other hand. See how I'm grabbing just behind it? That's how you started this workout, just taking it here. It's the same thing when you do your figure eight. You're gonna take it here, figure eight. Oh, just smack the camera, trying to see the message. And then I want you to take small steps, forward and back. Go forward and back, just a little bit at a time. And then if you're outside and you can, travel farther, walk farther, and then start to jog a little bit, running. That's gonna increase your cardiovascular fitness. It's gonna make you sweat, lean you out faster. Maybe that's it, Vic. I've been leaning out because I've been running with the staff. But mostly, it's gonna get you better. Yeah, you're welcome. I was thinking this morning, what's next for you on the next level? It gets more fun from here. But I want you to get good at jogging and moving and running back and forth while spinning your staff. And then you're gonna drop it. And every time you drop it, pick it up. Just pick it up. Go back to the first hand and reverse the spin. Pulling with the pinky, side to side, just about 30 seconds. And then you're gonna put it into the other hand. And look, it's the same thing. Good. You won't be mobility deficient for long. That's the truth. There's no manual that says you reach 75, 65, 80, 92, that your body has to slow down. Most people confuse aging with lifestyle limitations. Think about it this way. If you've been sitting a lot for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years, your body's gonna change in a negative way. Spinning like this engages the core, starts to strengthen everything. Start with a small, thin staff. And then what's gonna happen is, slowly, gradually, but for sure, certainly, you're gonna get better. You're gonna increase your mobility. And if it's been 20, 30, 40, 50 years that you have lost your mobility, it might take you a little while to get it back. Not another 20 years, but maybe 6 months. So be patient with yourself and have faith. That's what I was saying before. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And most people think that that's political, but it's not. You have to stand for yourself, your own fitness, good eating, good healthy relationships, a little bit of discipline, and with the words that come out of your mouth, the thoughts that go in your head, you start to invest in yourself, exercise, discipline, movement, cleaning, breathing, drinking more water. And then your value in yourself grows. You start to believe in yourself more. And that's when it's easy to stand up for yourself, speak up for yourself. But that's how it all starts. It starts with an investment in yourself. It could be this staff right here. It's a good way to start. All right, now, in the left hand, put that in front of your body, get behind it. Imagine the threat is here. His ugly, nasty face, some guy who's been pushing you around or is threatening you. Maybe there's 3 or 4 of them or even more. And you're walking with your staff, right? You're walking down the street, you put the staff between you and the threat. When the threat gets closer, you point your thumb, just like that, right at the threat, right in his face, so he can't see your eyes anymore. You'll be able to see him. All he can see is this pole, right in his face. Now, that threat has to get around the pole to attack, to get in close enough. You're welcome, thank you. From here, it's this simple. Point your thumb at that threat. Point your thumb. See what happens in the other hand? Gets it in there right away. puts it there. Now, if you're the threat here, in front of me here, from here, the first thing you're gonna do is thrust. Just a simple thrust. Your hands holding on, pushing. Notice that the palms are facing each other. From here, that's the first strike I want you to work on. From here, 1. Second strike is a variation of that. You're going to push through your hand. From here, pushing in. The threat's here again, push. You're just, see, this hand is aiming, right? You're just gonna slam that right through, think about the targets, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, throat, the solar plexus, the groin. Maybe it's a little bit lower down here, but that's all it is. It's simple. You have to keep martial arts self-defense simple. And the most simple thing is the most basic, straight in, angular, across the horizontal, vertical, straight down, all those basic strikes. All the other stuff, the twisting, all these cool moves, right? Changing positions, changing hands, that stuff's cool. Switching to here, you know, doing all that kind of spinning and stuff, that's cool, that's fun. But for self-defense, practicality. From here, thumb, push. From here, thumb, strike. Now from here, second strike or third strike, because we did a variation of the first one. Think about hitting them here, here, clavicle. They've got something in their hand, a knife. From here, smash the knife out of their hand. Maybe they're reaching out to try to grab you. Maybe they're coming closer. And you said, you know, I have every right to defend myself. Back up. Boom. Real fast, hard strike. And then take this one. Straight. Yeah, man, that's very heavy. Yeah, both. Use the rattan and use the other one. Use both of them. Use them both a little bit. Bring the back one across. Rattan's gonna be light, right? That's how you're gonna get really good at your spins. And so 6 days in a row, use rattan. Day number 7, get that heavy Brazilian staff wood out. Go slower. All right. Yeah, let me show you. All right, so spearing motion, spear, like a pull cue. That was 2. 1, there's 2, 3, coming down at that angle. All of my strikes are gonna stop here on top of this elbow. From here, I bring it here. When I punch across the face for that horizontal strike, it's gonna stop up here on the upper arm. So I come down here and across here. Down and across, right? 1, 2. Now from here, my hands are just facing the other direction since I was 9 years old. I'm 49, it's 40 years. I thought about that the other day. I thought, there's no way I've been doing it 40 years. Pushing in. 1, 2, 3. It's been a good life though. Yeah. And you know what? Any time you start is the right time. Anytime you wait to start, you're wasting time. So if you start, if you're thinking in my head or your head, man, I'd like to get started. Start now. But I don't have the right staff. I don't have that shiny metal, aluminum staff that he's got. You don't need it. You need, 32, man. You're a young pup. Start with a broomstick. Even leave the broom on it. Maybe you can't cut it off because you need it to sweep the floor every day. Leave the broom head on that thing and start spinning it. There's nothing wrong with that. The only thing would be wrong is if you didn't start immediately. Start right now. All right, let's review the strikes real quick and we'll get back to the spin. From here, let's talk about self-defense. Principles, not techniques. You need techniques to fight with, right? But the technique is determined by the principle. The principle number 1, that means strategy. If you're a military person, strategy over tactics. What are the tactics? You shoot the gun, you stab with the bayonet, you shoot the AT-4, the missile, or the bazooka, or whatever they used to have. The airplane shoots. Those are all tactics. What's the strategy? The strategy is your plan, okay? So plan number 1 is situational awareness. Pay attention when you're walking down the street. Pay attention to what's happening around you. See the threat before it gets too close, and then you have to fight. If you cross the street, cross the street. Walk the other way, walk the other way. If you can laugh and smile and determine whether you really need to or whatever, do that. Yes. But, Century Martial Arts just started a new program. I'm going to be able to sell their staff. The one on Amazon is decent. I got one. It's okay. It's not bad. You can use it. But you can go to karatemart.com. They've got some decent ones. AWMA.com, AsianWorldMartialArts.com. None of them gave me any money, by the way. AsianWorldMartialArts.com, AWMA.com, or one of the other, CenturyMartialArts.com. And you're going to pay more for it. The one on Amazon is going to be your cheapest bet. Or you can go on Etsy and find some artisan who makes them him or herself, who's been a lifelong martial artist. There's a bunch of them on there. And they make them, and they're durable, and they'll last you a lifetime. I've got some like that here that I've had for 30 years, over 30 years now. And made out of oak, and they're handmade and all that stuff. So you can go to Etsy.com, just type in bow staff, boom, you'll pop up a whole bunch. And if you want to spend a little bit more money, that's the best way to go. You'll spend your money once. If you want to get something that you can always have and always train, go the Etsy route. If you want to get a starter bow, there's a link below to the Amazon starter bow. Or pretty soon, I think Century's going to let me start putting the links in there and then sell them that way. All right. Or go to Century.com, CenturyMartialArts.com, Century.com, something else, CenturyMartialArts.com. You can see what they've got and order one now. There are some restrictions on some states, but I don't know what they are. All right, back to the strikes. Point the thumb, situational awareness. Number 2, get in a better position. In this case, better position, put the staff between you and the threat. Number 3, ask yourself with the breath. The breath centers you, by the way. It gets some oxygen in there. You stop seeing stars. You can make better decisions. Breathe. Ask yourself, what are my targets? Am I going to hit them in the eyes? Am I going to hit them in the nose? Targets, things you're going to destroy or remove. You're going to remove their eyesight. They can't see you. They can't fight you. You're going to remove their ability to breathe. They drop dead. Cops come and pick them up, or maybe the morgue or whatever. But this is all about, thank you. This is all about their target. What's going to help you win the fight so you go home safe? It's about self-defense. So number 1, situational awareness. Number 2, better position. Point your thumb. They've got to get around that. If I put this here, that's a good 3 feet almost. 3 feet that you've got to get around, maybe 2.5 feet, that you've got to get around before you can reach me. If you've got a knife in your hand, you've got to cross that. And then if I don't hesitate, I'm going to hit you as many times as I can with as much force and devastation as I can to remove your eyesight, your nose, your teeth, your throat, your ability to breathe, your ability to hurt me or my loved ones. I'm going to smash, I'm going to hit from here, down on top, pushing through, coming through, back the other side. Number 3, targets. Number 4, it's all about commitment. When you practice, you have to practice striking as hard as you can. You start easy, get warmed up, and you can see probably there's some redness up there. Yeah, redness, see it? That's the redness from me smacking myself in the arm. There's redness there for me pulling it in here. Because I want to know that when I go to defend myself for real, it really is going to stop the fight. Now, another way you can strike, palms together out like this, pushing and pushing, right? 1, 2. Just think of like a Rocky movie, and the guy gets punched in the jaw and the spit goes flying out their mouth, maybe a tooth or two. That's what your goal is. You want to here to the jaw and then through. Make sure you follow through. Don't stop over here. Stop over here. Punch through, punch through. This is a real basic way to strike. And again, it's stopping over my arm. And I can do this up toward the face. I can do this in the middle of the body. And I can do this down into the knee. And notice the whole time, my hands are closed. Keep your hands closed. Don't open your hand and don't change your grip. These are basic strikes. Basic strikes. Now back to the spin. Put it in your left hand. Let it roll over the back of your wrist on the pinky side. So I turn. I'm slowing it way down. I open the hand. I balance it. That'll happen. You got to get out of the way. And don't be afraid if you smack yourself in the face. It's good feedback. You can see my reaction because I've done it so much. Mostly I'm trying to keep my glasses from breaking again. because I've broken more glasses than the average human being teaching martial arts. That's why I buy the cheap ones. So what I'm doing, I'm come up here and let it balance there on the back of the wrist, and then I turn my hand under to take it from here, and then go back to the thumb side and do the same thing. This hand is allowed to assist as you're learning it. That means you can bring this up here, bring this up here, use this hand to keep it from hitting the ground. But then once you get it, one side, back the other side. And you can see it fires the muscles in my forearm, which is what you want. You want to develop more speed. Good, I did too. I started with a painter's pole, a sanding pole for drywall. Because growing up, that's what I did. I started working with my dad before I started martial arts. That's how I had my own money. My whole life, I paid for my martial arts mostly myself. I started working with my dad as a kid. He was a house painter. He had all these apartments he would paint. And he'd give me a brush, big 4-inch, heavy China bristle brush. And he'd stick me in these closets. He used to have these closets that had like a second part they were nicer closets for, rich people or whatever. And I'd go in there and he'd put me in the corner. And I'd just paint in the corners. And then by the time I was grown, I had a skill. I can always fall back. I can always paint houses and apartments if I need to. I've probably painted 1,000 apartments since I was a kid. The one thing I've done more than martial arts is paint. That's probably how I got so big too, using the roller. But that was brilliant for me, because now I had the roller pole, I had the sanding pole, and then in between jobs you unscrew the tips, right? And then you have a big old pole, and especially those, they're a little bit thicker, so you really get them going around your fingers, and you loosen everything up. All right, so you're doing wrist roll to wrist roll from one side to the other one. And then I want you to go back to your figure 8 and start to walk forward, and again, small steps, and back, and then throw in a wrist roll, and a wrist roll, and then forward, and back, and then wrist roll. The purpose of the wrist roll is to change the structure or the timing of your spinning. So you can work it into a form, or you can do it in a demonstration, or you can start to freestyle or flow. All of a sudden the wrist rolls change the rhythm, giving you some texture to what you're doing, so it makes it look better. Because if this is all you do, that's cool for like 12 seconds, and then somebody's like, well, is that all you can do? And you're like, no, check this out. And I can do that. But mostly, you're not just doing it. Yeah, just don't hit yourself with a crook. The answer is always yes. It's always yes. That's the Marine Corps, Marine in me. Adapt and overcome. Find a solution. Everybody finds problems in life, right? Everyone can find a problem. And this is how it relates to what we're talking about. You can find every reason in the world why you can't do something. You can have 50 reasons or 100 reasons or 1,000,000, and you really only need one. But if you want to do it, you only need one reason why you can. Maybe it's just because you like it. Maybe you need self-defense. Maybe you're 75 and you need more mobility because you're mobility deficient. Whatever your one reason is, focus on that. And let everyone else around you tell you why you can't do it. And then say, shut up. You can't interrupt me while I'm doing it. Stop telling me why I can't while I'm doing it. That's a Confucian saying. The man who says you can't, or something like this, the man who says it can't be done should not interrupt the person who's doing it. That's you. You're the person doing it. All right, other hand, walking forward. And when someone starts to tell you why you don't have the right equipment, you can't do that with a shepherd's hook. Why not? Yeah, if you can, right? Don't let anybody else tell you can't. That's the point. Go into the wrist roll on each side, change hands into a wrist roll, change hands into a wrist roll. All I'm doing is when I'm taking it like I normally would, but I'm adding a wrist roll from the start. And then here, I'm taking it like I normally would, but I'm adding a wrist roll from the start, wrist roll, wrist roll, wrist roll. I think I added a move there, but you get the point, right? Wrist roll, and then the last thing we're gonna do are finger rolls. It just goes between your fingers. It's this simple. Start the same way you normally would. First two fingers, grab it. Yeah, I think I have a few on there already. I haven't done that many of them. Here's the biggest reason why. If I'm gonna teach you Japanese sword in person, you're gonna do the most basic strike. It would be this way, by the way, the left hand on the bottom. But you're gonna do that for the first 5 or 6 classes. And I believe if you don't learn how to do that basic strike, 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 and you do that 50 to 100 times per set, and you do that for about an hour, and then you come back and you do the same thing. You come back and you do the same thing. The whole time, stomach up and in, and you're working on your posture and your stance and your footing. Yeah, lightsabers like Japanese sword light. If you can do the lightsaber videos, you can't necessarily do kin or yaido or kendo or whatever you want to call it, or even the Korean gumdo, which is just really kendo or kin, Japanese sword. Don't tell the Koreans I said that. Anyway, that's the truth. For the most part. And just like Taekwondo was originally karate, and then they started adding more kicks, and they started to de-emphasize punching, and now it's like some weird front leg foot fencing garbage in competition. That's what Taekwondo has become, that the Korean masters trying to make a buck. I've said it. I try to stay out of that politics, but that's the truth. They're all trying to make a couple dollars by getting advertising dollars and keeping it in the Olympics. But they're getting it killed. They're killing it. They took all of the fight out of Taekwondo, and now it's just a bunch of front leg dancing. And back in the day when I competed, it was still a fight. And there were lots of knockouts, and you could punch people and knock them out with a punch. And now it's like all, I don't know, some of you guys know what I'm talking about. You've seen it. It's just very different. And martial arts, in my mind, should always have a component of practical self-defense, or what's the point? If you're not learning how to defend yourself, which is, I think, why a lot of us get into it, then what is it? So all you're doing is this, right? And then you're gonna put the first 3 fingers together, and you're gonna grab it with the thumb, and you're gonna come over the top. So you last 3, put the 3 fingers together, grab it with the thumb, and that's a 3-finger roll. So this is a continuous roll. I gotta get out of here in about 2 minutes, but this is a continuous roll. Yeah, I'll still say that I think Taekwondo has a harder kick than Muay Thai. And we used to have this argument all the time, because we'd go on these, we do a lot of cross training. And we'd train with the Muay Thai guys, and they've got great kicks. But they throw the kick still does that. And when that hand is down, and I firmly believe this, and I don't know why it's still done that way, but when you do this, you can't turn your hip over. And all that power of turning the hip and unleashing the beast of that big round kick comes from twisting the hip. And if your hand is down, your hip can't turn over. So it's like a brake or an anchor on a boat. And so when one of those shows on the Discovery Channel, the old shows where they put the best Taekwondo guy and the best karate guy and the best Muay Thai guy, and they all have them kick, and then they measure it like they do for boxing. Taekwondo guys are always stronger. And it's about body mechanics. I know that's got to be true. I've been kicked by both. And a good Taekwondo, like an Olympic level Taekwondo fighter, and from the old days, I don't know how they are now. They still, yeah. And good, I mean, do the Taekwondo. I still do Taekwondo every day. I teach my kids Taekwondo. I teach them boxing so they learn how to move and take a hit and learn how to hit. And I teach them Western wrestling, because I wrestled for a long time with a little bit of jiu-jitsu, a little bit of BJJ, a little bit of judo, which was my first martial art. And I think that if you want practical self-defense, learn how to throw a couple punches, get out of the way, learn how to guard against the takedown, learn how to throw some elbows, Learn the basic, and then you learn the principles of self-defense, situational awareness, better position, targets. What are my targets? Take a deep breath, center, and then all in, baby. Full commitment on every strike, as hard as you can, trying to end the fight with every single strike in self-defense. And that, with the number 5, is fight's not over till you win. A lot of people give up way too soon. A lot of people quit everything in life too early. All right, good. Kendo and Eskrima, excellent. I do all these martial arts during the week. Go back to the wrist roll, and then add in a finger roll. And you've just added more texture into your freestyle. So from here, start walking forward, walking back to a wrist roll, and then do a finger roll. And if you can walk at the same time, that's great. If not, let your feet stop, but do that finger roll, and then the same thing on the other side. Wrist roll into your finger roll, and then keep going from there. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. I gotta run and pick up the kids. You guys have been awesome. Thank you. Oh, check out the links below if you have any questions, and send me an email, info@QuantumStrong, all one word, Quantum Strong, Q. Info@quantumstrong.com. I'll put you on the mailing list. Thank you.